Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Talk Girlies podcast. I'm your host, Disapproval Joe, and I'm with an old friend of mine.
Hi, I'm Angel.
Angel and I have known each other for quite some time now. We went to high school together. They were 1 year younger than me, but they always just stayed in my corner and just loved to know what my next music step was, writing, song, single, you name it. And
Heck yeah.
I just always remembered that. And here we are. We graduate from the same college now, and we're still keeping in touch. And it's just so nice to have you still in my life. And, being a fan and a friend, it just means so much to me. And I would just love to, know a little bit more about you. So,
Yeah.
what would you say, some plans that you have for yourself moving forward with your life now that school's done? Like, what do you think is coming up?
Well, first of all, I am honored to know you. You are like one of the bestest friends. Um, my plans so far, I don't even know what my plans are for the next day. I would say for school wise, transferring to Granite College, going for human services, but mainly focusing on the counseling foundation program and stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of open minded right now. Like, I'm very open to doing anything right now. So,
Yeah. And I feel like, mental health is like something that is so
yeah.
open minded to like go in so many different
Very
directions.
broad, yeah.
So I feel like that's why I also choose like mental health as a field because like I don't like to be trapped to do like one thing and one thing only.
Yeah,
I get bored
no.
easily and I like the idea of like there's so many different directions you can go to make a difference.
No, there's so much stuff you can do in the human services field. It's nice.
Yeah, and I love how it can be like not even just like words. It can also be like art, music, just like
Right.
so many different ways to help de-stress and connect with humans. And I think that is just so
Yeah.
cool.
I know, exactly. What are your interests in human services right now?
I think like also like considering my childhood and things I've experienced, I'm like I can relate with the people, so I have a lot of empathy to give because I've been in those shoes. Therefore, I can be in their shoes to
Yeah.
understand them.
I think empathy is like key.
Top
Yeah.
tier.
Key, definitely.
So I feel like, the idea of like, I'm not just someone that's like, give me the check. Like, I'm here for the money. It's like, no, I actually care about these people
Oh,
because I
yeah.
understand it. So, like, when they say it, it doesn't go out one ear, out the other. It's like, no, I know exactly what you are saying to some extent.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people choose to go to mental health field for that reason because they've had trauma and awful experiences, etc. And it's like, one hand can help another.
Yeah, definitely. My thing is, like I always like picture that one person that doesn't have like that support around them, like at home, wherever they are, like they might not have all that support that other people may have. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's nice being that one person that can give them that support.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I also feel like you and I, our school was very cliquey as we were younger, and like like you said, we saw a lot of like people being like that one person sitting alone at a lunch table at
Yeah.
recess, etc. It's like we saw like our school is very cliquey, and we saw a lot of people be isolated out, not
Mhm.
because they were he said, she said, wrong this or that. It was just how the cookie crumbled, and it's
No,
just so
yeah.
unfair sometimes
Yeah.
because they didn't look the part. They didn't have the it factor, whatever people want to say, and it's like, why does that even fucking matter,
No, yeah. I feel like any new student coming into our school was definitely feeling the vibe of like,
bro?
yeah, what kind of clique do I belong to? Because that literally was how our school was. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and then at the end of like, remember like at the end, like every summer, like before, like we had summers like be like May and June, like we would have the fights. It was like a trend. Like every time before school ended, there'd be the big
It was
fights.
ridiculous.
Like the weirdest trends. And remember, it was
Yeah.
like a trend for everyone to be on crutches.
Oh my gosh, that one year like everyone got hurt.
Yes. I was literally like, we had the weirdest trends. It
It
was all
was.
like violence and just awful. And I
I
feel like
agree.
seeing stuff like that with like your mental health is like, is that what I need to do to be cool? Like
Yeah.
pretend to break my foot and get some crutches,
I know.
get in a fight, and then put it on my Snapchat story? Like that's cool. I just feel like that's so weird and awful and an awful mindset to grow up with as well, that like
Yeah.
violence is entertaining and this and that, and it's like, that's not reality.
Right, right. And we, of course, had like assemblies and everything. The principal talked to us about all that stuff and everything. We had those talks, but nobody, I think, really cared at the end of the day.
No.
Like, our school just stayed the same.
And I feel like, with like adults like not really caring about the environment, that's why that school is probably the same as it was after we left as well,
Yeah.
which is just really unfortunate because not only is it giving kids the wrong idea of what is right, wrong, cool, or whatever, but it's also gonna stick with them with their mental health for a long time.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
for sure.
that's something that takes a long time to recover with. But yeah, so our school is definitely not it, but somehow Angel and I like made it out, like good, and
We
we're like
survived.
we're still like going strong with our fields and stuff. But something that I also wanted to ask you is like because obviously we were in different grades, and different grades will merge and stuff, and I get that, but like something that I always wondered about you is like why you were so invested in my music when a lot of people at my age were kind of like making fun of it, saying it was weird, this and that. So like what made you the outcast to be like, I am interested in this?
Well, first of all, I don't think like to me connecting to music is more of listening to the message that the songs are given, that the artist has behind the song, because I think that, I mean, obviously means the most than the sound of the song. I mean, I feel like people necessarily look at music and just think like, oh, this is the next banger. Like, who cares if it's not? Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
their music. Like, they're the ones who wrote that. They connected with it and they want to share that love with other people. So, if that is something that means that much to you, of course I'm gonna like invest in it because I want to see how, you
Yeah.
know, I want to see what you do, and it's amazing what you do. Those messages behind the songs you create are amazing. Oh.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like that means so much to me, and I love how you said like like it doesn't have to be like the next banger or like top 100 hit, and like that was never my goal either. There, like when I was
Right.
making music, it was never like I want this to be a hit in a club or someone to listen to on repeat. It was like you said, the message was the biggest thing,
Yeah.
and just somehow music came out to be around that.
And for me, that was one way I got to know you is through your
Yeah,
songs.
and I feel like you get to know so many people through music if they use it as the correct way. Like some people make parties
Yeah.
on stuff. I love doing that. I like to make parties on stuff like that too. Don't get me wrong, but like I think it takes a lot for an artist to really open up and
Yeah.
especially write their own lyrics to be like, this is how I feel on pen and paper, and then make it into
Yeah.
something such as music, art, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And if you have the people like giving you that hype, making you more motivated to keep, writing that music, which is
Hmm.
what, all of us are around you trying to do because of course like we love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there like a certain song off that I have recorded that you still feel you relate to the most, or you're still very interested in as of now?
Mm, I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh, I can't. I can't with that. Um, I don't know. I think I remember that one song that was it was just like putting your feelings out there towards someone that was like messing with your feelings,
Oh, messing
breaking.
around.
I think it was that one.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
It just went hard and it was just so straightforward. I connected to it
Yeah,
personally. So,
I really liked that song too because off like the beat was really fun too. It was very like sassy, upbeat, kind of like a club vibe, and but like
yeah,
I just the lyrics were so blunt, like you were saying, like it
definitely.
was basically listing every way you want to get back at
Yeah.
somebody with revenge.
But even
And
your
yeah.
last song that you wrote, that you sent to me over text, it was just so straightforward. Like, you're not going to do that to me. I'm not taking none of this no more.
Yeah. I've definitely been writing a lot of new stuff. Like I never stop writing, even though I may not be recording everything I write. I'm always writing for
Yeah.
like therapeutic reasons, whatever. But as I've gotten older, I would say my lyrics have been more. They keep getting more and more blunt, believe it or not.
Mhm.
But I feel like a lot of them are talking about like real life issues, like as of now. Like a lot of them have been talking about stereotypes with race, gender, sexuality. I've been seeing that a lot, like in the news, and it's just been really frustrating me. And even like at my workplace, like I'll see it like of how other coworkers will look at others, or how customers like will look at me when
Yeah.
I work, like in food service, and it's just a little frustrating and baffling that people are still believing these old stereotypes that carry on through generation after generation.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time I was carrying a lot of boxes because we had an order, and this older person looked at me, and they like they thought I was like gay or whatever, which is totally fine, but
Mhm.
they were like, wow, someone like you can carry all those boxes. And I'm like, just because I am bi, gay, whatever, doesn't mean that I'm anything weak or less than, like I can't carry
Right.
something heavy. So like stuff like that, and I write a lot about that, like in my songs too, of like how everyone can be equal, and just because you have a certain gender or define a certain gender doesn't mean you're anything less physically, mentally, whatever. I
Right.
just find that to be so silly and ignorant.
No, I agree. I agree. Personally, I feel like I have never met anyone like face to face like that, and I'm glad I haven't
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know. I'd have to bite my tongue definitely. It's hard.
Yeah. I'll never forget. I was a couple years back. I worked at another food place, and this young guy who was about maybe 16 or something told a pregnant woman that he would not do dishes because, in quote, it was a woman's job. And I just looked at this guy and I was like,
Oh my god.
not only was I mad at him, but obviously that doesn't come out of thin air. So I was more
Yeah.
mad at his parents, grandparents, whoever raised that kid,
Yeah.
to have that mentality and idea that that is okay to say.
That is just like absurd to me. Like, if you really think that, like,
Right.
what kind of world are you living in?
And ironically,
Oh my
so then like the
gosh.
next day he came in and I said to him, I said, hey, you mind doing that woman's job? Like throwing it back at him. He's like, which one? And I was like, the fact that you think there are multiple things that are only assigned to women is crazy. And I said that to him, and then he started laughing. And I was like, can you go do the dishes? And then he finally did them.
Well, I'm glad he didn't like put up a big fight, but the fact that he was still like questioning and
Laughing
like
and like
laughing, yeah.
and I purposely said that same back to him because I wanted to see
Yeah.
if he would then realize that it was not an okay thing to say. But sadly, he just still found it to be a joke.
That's so annoying.
And then, like, that relates back to mental health, of how, like, in that situation, he targeted women to feel like they are restricted to stay home, take care of the
Yeah.
kids, clean dishes, whatever. And it's like, we have been so past that. Like, that
Mhm.
is such an old stereotype.
No, yeah. My whole thing is it's 2023. I feel like those perspectives do not matter anymore, like at all. Like if you
No.
believe in those perspectives or roles or whatever, like I don't even, I'm speechless when I hear those things because it's just,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's like we see so much range and people having so much more freedom and flexibility to do what they want, and like
Mhm.
it shows that more people are happy with that.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I
For
just
sure.
like wish more people would get on board with that. But
Mhm.
you know, that's just something that's going to take time. But I think the moral of the story is that mental health really helps us view how we view others and ourselves. And by being around people with those old fashioned stereotypes and criticism, whatever, sometimes you just gotta, like, put yourself first and be like, I can't be around this, and you can't force it either. Like,
Yeah.
you can't defend it either. Like, oh, well, they're only like that sometimes. Oh, well, they don't mean it. It's like the more you defend it, the more you can maybe A, start to believe what they're saying is okay,
Right.
and two, also make yourself feel less than just to feel accepted by that person.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. Because that is a common thing in society. You'll just side with the other
Right.
person because kind of.
And like,
Yeah.
relating it all back to the high school thing of like, everyone being on crutches in the fights.
Right.
It's like, well, everyone else is doing it, so it must be acceptable. Everyone
Yup.
believes it, but it's like,
Yup.
you know,
You gotta like know your personal boundaries and where to
right.
draw the line, because nowadays in society, like it's crazy out there. It's crazy. I don't know. You definitely gotta look into stuff, get some knowledge in your brain, have some insight on what really matters. Because treating people with kindness, having respect for others is definitely important nowadays. Like you can't just be so close-minded, have those perspectives. Like I said, it's 2023.
Yeah, I just wish like, obviously like, when you are programmed to be taught something for so long,
Yeah.
it's hard to change someone's mind. But at the same time, it's like, if you want to stick to your beliefs or whatever, people aren't going to change, whatever. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like the idea of like compromise and like being open-minded to other things.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily understand it, but at least respect other people's feelings and beliefs that they may have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I may not agree with something you say, but I'm not gonna poke fun of you or force something on you
Yeah.
to then prove to you that I'm right and my only way is right. Because
Yeah.
one, you're not gonna talk to me afterwards,
Exactly.
and two,
exactly.
it's just gonna cause problems. And there's like the old saying, like, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. And
Yeah.
I think society should really take that message so that way we can be more optimistic to new things of ways of thinking and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I wish society was more open. I feel like it is, but it's
It
just that
is,
small
but it's not.
population. Yeah.
Like, there's definitely been more changes and more like freedom, like we've said, but there's still so
Definitely.
much more that needs to be taken up upon. And it's just like, as long as like some people are, making that change, then that's great. But, it's just one step at a time. And
Yeah.
it's okay to speak up if you don't like a behavior that is being said to you.
Yeah.
Just because it's the norm doesn't make it right either.
No, it doesn't.
But
I'm glad that we
yeah,
have people out there like us, though, that have the empathy and kindness that we have, and
for sure.
make the world a little better of a place.
Especially like, coming from like kind of like similar backgrounds of like, the idea of like not being the most coolest people in school and like
Yeah.
not following every trend we saw to then like, doing a selfless kind of profession of helping others shows a lot, of how we understand where people are coming from and we want to
Yeah.
help them. And, we're not like in it just like how we say like, number one hits with music, all the money in the world. It's more like about making a difference
Yeah.
and helping to understand different types of behaviors to then help people with their mental health.
Perfectly said.
But I just wanted to like, have a little podcast day, and thank you guys so much for listening to the Real Talk Girlies again, and hopefully we can get some more of Angel to come on again.
Yes, thank you for having me for
Of
this short
course.
period of time.
And leave any comments you want about mental health experiences you guys have shared, and we would love to hear them. But have a great day, guys.
Yes,
and keep
have a
that
lovely
mental health
day.
in check. Bye, guys.
Bye.